Let's sit in a comfortable meditation posture and close the eye. Put the attention on the silence that's always there deep in you. This is the silent witness. You are the silent witness. Connect with this silent witness. Become the silent witness. When you make this connection, notice how the body sits effortlessly, as if held up by some invisible force. It requires no effort at all from the perspective of the silent witness. Now listen to the words of the Yoga Vasishta. Book 4, Chapter 9, continuing with verse 64. This son of yours has been skilled in mantras, and he practiced them in the land of the Vidyadharas. Then he became a Vidyadhara magician himself, and worked his jugglery of taking ornaments from women. He became a favorite of females, just as the sun is dear to lotus flowers, being as handsome as Kama, the god of love. He became a favorite among Vidyadhara ladies in the land of Gandharva. At the end of the Kalpa age of universal destruction, he saw the 12 sons of the zodiac shining at once before him. He was reduced to ashes by their heat, just as a grasshopper is burnt by falling on fire. Finding no other world or body where he could enter, his spirit roved about in empty air, like a bird soars on high without its nest. After the lapse of a long time, as Brahma again awoke from his long night of repose, and again commenced his creation of the world in all its various forms, the wandering spirit of your son was led by its desire, as if propelled by a gust of wind, to become a Brahman again and be reborn on earth. He was born under the name of Vasudeva as the son of a Brahman. He was taught all the Shruti scriptures among the intelligent and learned men of the place. In this Kalpa age, he became a Vidyadhara again and committed himself to the performance of his tapas on the bank of the Samanga, where he is still sitting in his yoga meditation. Thus, his desire for the varieties of worldly experiences led him to various births in the woods and forests, in the womb of this earth. covered with jungles of thorny kadira, kajanja, and other bushes and bramble. Kama, time, on the mind as the cause producing the world. It's interesting here that yama is a Sanskrit word for time, and yama is the god of death. So time is essential in this equation of life and death. Time arises within the eternity to cycle the creation on and off. Your son is still engaged in his rigorous austerities on the bank of the Samanga River, rolling with its loud waves on the beach, and the winds blowing and howling from all sides. He has been sitting still in his firm tapas, with matted braids of hair on his head and beads of rudraksha seeds in his hand, and controlling the members of his body from going astray. O venerable sage, if you wish to know the dreams of his mind, you shall have to open your intellectual eye in order to pry into the thoughts of others. Vasishta said, saying so, Yama, the Lord of the world, who sees all at one view, made the Muni dive with his intellectual eye into the thoughts of his son. By this perception, the sage immediately saw all the incidents in the sequence of birth in his son's mind, as if they were reflected in the mirror of his own mind. Having seen the mind of his son in his own mind, the Muni returned from the bank of the Samanga to his own body on Mount Mandara. Where it was left in its sitting posture in the presence of Yama. Surprised at what he saw, the sage looked upon Yama with a smile dispassionate as he was, he spoke to the God in the following soft and dispassionate words. Brigu speaking. O God, who is Lord of past and future, we are only ignorant children before you, whose brilliance, insight sees at once the three times of past, present, and future. The knowledge of the existence of the world by its varying forms and fluctuations, whether it is a real entity or not, is the source of all errors of the wisest men. It is you, O powerful God, who knows what is inside this world, while to us it presents its outward figure only in the shape of a magic scene. I knew very well that my son is not subject to death. Therefore, I was struck with wonder to see him lying like a dead body, thinking that the imperishable soul of my son was snatched by death. I was led to the brainless desire of cursing you on this untimely death. For though we know the course of things in the world, yet we are subject to impulses of joy and grief, owing to prosperity and adversity. Moreover, to be angry with wrongdoers and to be pleased with those that act rightly have become the general rule in the course of the world. As we are subject to the error of the reality of the world, we labor under the sense of what is our duty and what we must refrain from. But deliverance from this error removes all responsibility from us. When we fret at death without understanding its intention, we are to be blamed, of course. You have made me acquainted with the thoughts of my son. I can see the whole scene on the bank of the Samanga River. Of the two bodies of men, the mind alone is omnipresent. The leader of the outer body is animated being. The mind, therefore, is the true body that reflects and makes us conscious of the existence of ourself and also of the exterior world. Yama replied, "You have rightly said, O Brahman, that the mind is the true body of man. It is the mind that molds the body according to its will, just as the potter makes a pot at his pleasure. The mind frames a form and gives a feature to the person that it did not have before, and it destroys one in existence in a moment. Imagination gives an image to an airy nothing, like children see ghosts before them in the dark. It is well known to everybody that the mind's power creates apparent realities out of absolute unreality in dream and delirium, in misconceptions and fallacies, and all kinds of error, like the sight of magic cities and talismans. It is from their reliance on visual sight that men consider the material body to be the principal body. And they conceive the mind as a secondary or supplementary part. It was the divine mind that formed the world from its thought. Therefore, the phenomena is neither a substance by itself, nor is it a nothing. The mind is part of the body and spreads itself into many forms through its thoughts and desires. Like the branch of a tree shoots forth its blossoms and leaves. As we see two moons by optical deception, one mind appears as many in many individuals. So this is a very clear statement that there is only one mind. There is only the divine mind. And individuals, such as you and I, are not real. We are an illusion, a deception. This is a fundamental and most important step on achieving self-realization. One must realize that this being that one associates as real and as one's own self, separate from other beings, is an illusion. It is not real. There is only one divine mind. This mind that you seem to possess is not your individual mind. It appears to be your individual mind because of the distortion in perception caused by individual karmic traces. The individual karmic traces are creating the illusion that one is an individual. Even the name individual karmic trace is an illusion. We say that we have mountain ranges of karma. Does that mean there are 7.8 billion mountain ranges of karma? No. We all share in that same mountain range of karma. Your mountain range of karma and my mountain range of karma are not different. when you sit to meditate and balance karma. This is why others benefit, because you're balancing the karma for yourself and for everyone else, for all of humanity. There's this famous story about Jesus Christ, how he came into the world and suffered and died for our sins. How is that possible? It's possible because we all share that same mountain range of karma. Jesus Christ is an incarnation of Vishnu, the maintainer of the universe. And he came into this world to restore balance, as he frequently does. That is his occupation, to keep the universe in balance. And the way that's done is by balancing individual karmic traces. As an incarnation of the divine, he had no individual karmic traces as such. He was and is the divine mind. But by taking human form and participating in human society, he was then able to perform sadhana, balance karmic traces that would create an effect on other human beings. So this is just another way of looking at how each one of us is contributing to the enlightenment of every human being. As we balance our own karma, the karma of the world is balanced. This is the basis of the Sahasra Sirsha Brahma meditation. By combining our efforts, our sadhana, into a single sadhana, by meditating together as a group, performing the same exact sadhana at the same time, with the same focus, something special is created. Maharishi called it group dynamics of consciousness, or the super radiance effect. We're calling it the emergence effect. It's the combination of individual parts into one wholeness that results into something greater than any of the individual parts. So this meditation is producing a superhuman being, and the volume of individual karmic traces that are being balanced is much greater. By this principle, the performance of this meditation by this group will eventually raise world collective consciousness, level of consciousness that each individual experiences is related to the mountain range of karma share that that individual has, clouding his or her perspective of the divine mind. It's like we're all standing behind a big windshield, a big glass. And as we perform our meditation, we clean the glass right in front of our eyes so we can see through it very clearly. We look over a little to the right or left, up or down, it's still quite clouded. But if we look right in the center where we've been working on that part of the mountain ranges of karma, we can see the divine mind clearly. But because we have opened a small hole in that windshield of perception, light streams in through that hole and benefits everyone on this side of the window. But still, only one mountain range of karma for all of humanity. And each one of us is individually responsible for balancing that whole mountain range of karma. Now let us continue, established in the silent witness, as the silent witness. And begin the Trimana Sanyama practice. Focusing on the esoteric Mahamantra. And balance all the karma that has been enlivened on the screen of the mind before us by this discussion of the Yoga Vashishta. Jay Gurdev.